You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. On Monday, Tigers got great news. Of course, Kayshon Boutte is returning for his senior season. It happened while we were live on the air, so we got to react to it real time. I think there's a lot of people who question Kayshon, his commitment, a lot of different things about him and his personality. A lot of y'all eating words today. It's a great thing for LSU. A couple of conversations I had last night with scout-type people. There was kind of a belief that Kayshon had dropped into around 2 or 3 even. Slow start to the year, all that sort of stuff. The production was down. We can discuss why that was. Offense, injuries. He missed a game because of the birth of a child. Missed a game due to injury or illness. The UAB game. Whatever it is, at its most basic level, Kayshon could have gone the Jamar Chase or Derek Stingley route. I'll point out Stingley, who a year ago there were a lot of these same questions, right? Injury, opted out of the remainder of the season with surgery. A lot of those same questions we talked about. Look, Stingley was going to go to the combine. He was going to run a blazing speed. And as soon as Stingley sat down in front of all these teams and told his story, that he would race up draft boards again, because the fan perception of Derek Stingley didn't map to reality. You all thought he was a quitter. Not all of you, but a lot of you thought he was a quitter and quit on his team and all that sort of stuff, which just wasn't the case. The guy had legit medical things that he tried to play through. He tried to play hurt, wasn't up to the level that he was, and that would amounted to a season-ending injury that he had surgery to allow him to go get healthy, ready for the combine, and became the number 3 pick in the draft. I think something similar could have happened for Kayshon this year. I think he could have gotten healthy. He could have gone to the combine, ran a great 40 time, gone talk to teams, explained what was going on with him, all that sort of stuff. And I think he would have raced up draft boards because he's got enough good tape out there. But something I told you that on Monday that is true is Kayshon loves LSU, and he loves being from Louisiana, and he loves being part of that lineage of great receivers from Louisiana. He loves being considered and wants to be considered in that echelon of Odell and Jarvis and Jamar and Justin Jefferson, dudes from Louisiana who put on for LSU and went on and had a great career afterwards. And so he's going to have an opportunity to come back and potentially help lead LSU to a championship, to the playoff. And I think the perspective or the perception of Kayshon in his decision to come back changes dramatically. Chris Doering of the SEC Network was on Sirius XM on his SEC radio show and had this to say about Kayshon's return.
I mean, the Kayshon Boutte one was one of the most unexpected because there were people talking about him opting out during the middle of this season. So the fact that he's coming back for another year has me not only excited about him, but what must be going on behind the scenes there with Brian Kelly and what he's building and the positivity that's in that locker room.
All of that is true and things we've talked about. The flip side of it is Kayshon Boutte's decision to return likely influenced Jack Bech's decision to jump into the portal, which happened earlier on Tuesday afternoon. And listen, there were whispers last week, and I think many of you probably heard them, and I think Jack and his family kind of arrived at that decision at some point last week that he was going to put his name in the portal whenever it opened. And after Kayshon made his announcement yesterday to stay, Jack Bech similarly made the announcement today that he was going to leave. So Jack posted on all of his social media thanking LSU for the opportunity to play the sport that he loves at the university. As he wrote, "I've loved since I could hold a football." He said, "I want to thank everyone who believed in me and supported me throughout my journey here. In every stage of life, there's change, and I feel that my opportunity to grow as a player is elsewhere. This has been the hardest decision I've ever had to make, and a lot of thought and prayer has gone into my decision. With that being said, I'm entering my name in the transfer portal." So Jack Bech, after 2 seasons in Baton Rouge, is entering the portal. That's going to sting for a lot of LSU fans. Jack was a very, very popular player. He's a Louisiana guy. He kind of had the reputation of being hard-nosed. He would go make that tough catch, strong runner, physical player. And, yeah, even look, the shirts, the Bech, I'm from Louisiana. I think there's few players that did a better job marketing themselves through NIL and cashing in on NIL opportunities than did Jack. So, he just was a very popular player. But I think something that this decision illustrates is, whenever this coaching staff came in, there were no loyalties to anybody that had been here. It was a truly clean slate for everybody coming in to make your best opportunity, to make the most of your opportunity. And for Jack, the unfortunate part is, back in camp, he suffered a couple of injuries. He had the stress fracture of his shins. I don't mind saying this now. I was told Jack also sidelined for a portion of camp with a concussion. And that's why you just didn't see him out there for a lot of fall camp. So he was slow to come back from those injuries of no fault of his own. But you're talking about other guys getting those reps and getting an opportunity to show their coaches what they had. And so Jack kind of got passed in the pecking order. And when he came back, they tried to get him back on the field. Of course, they did put him back there to return kicks and punts. He muffed the kickoff against Tennessee, as we saw. And, they lost that opportunity. So you just saw a situation where a really, really good player, a very talented player, lost reps, got passed by some guys due to no fault of his own. And then when he had the opportunity, didn't really maximize it. 16 catches for 200 yards for Jack this year, of the one touchdown. But guys like Malik Neighbors made the most of the opportunity. Malik led LSU with 63 catches and 854 yards this year. And so you can look ahead if you're Jack Bech and you realize, okay, well, Kayshon Boutte's returning, Malik Neighbors is returning, Brian Thomas is back. Just as far as pass catchers, Mason Taylor had a good year with 33 receptions. He's back. Kyron Lacey could return. Kyron Lacey had 22 catches. For comparison, Kyron had 22, Jack Bech had 16. You're going to get Chris Hilton back off of injury. And then when you look at the signing class that's coming in, when you got a 5-star like Shelton Sampson, is the highest rated player in your class right now, you can just realize how it's going to be harder and harder to get targets. So it makes sense for Jack at this point. You can understand why he is looking ahead to his future and where the opportunity is going to be. So you wish him all the luck in the world, man. Jack's a good guy, a true LSU Tiger. I think there was a lot of people that were looking forward to that St. Thomas More connection, right, with Walker Howard throwing passes to Jack Bech, which we saw tear up the high school ranks for years in Louisiana. And we're really excited to see that transition here to LSU. You had the opportunity to play together, but it looks like that's not going to happen as Jack has entered the transfer portal. And I know the obvious question that a lot of people are going to ask is, okay, well, who's next and who else might it be? And I think, the good thing for LSU right now is the program is just in a dramatically different space than they were a year ago, where the exodus came like it's happening now at Florida or right now at Texas A&M. Do you realize there's 24 Florida players that from the start of the season have either entered the portal or declaring for the draft? 24 on an 85-man roster. It's incredible. The attrition there. A&M's got a dozen guys in the portal. Like toxic situations where guys are leaving. That's what LSU was a year ago. Right now, you got guys who are committed to building upon this foundation. Guys coming back instead of jumping in the portal. So you're gonna have guys who are buried on the depth chart at their position. And every year there's natural attrition. I mean, you've got to have guys that either go pro or transfer, medically retire, or whatever it is. But you're always going to have that every year because you have roster turnover and you're going to bring in a new crop of players. So you expect that. But the guys that you're expecting would enter the portal from LSU are guys buried down the depth chart on the offensive line, maybe in the secondary. Jack might end up being the most high-profile LSU player that enters the portal in this cycle. We're going to watch and see what happens at quarterback. And obviously both Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier have decisions to make. But a dramatically different reality for LSU right now than a year ago. And I think I speak for everybody just wishing Jack Bech well in whatever is next and wherever he lands for the next phase of his career. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.